Jaden Kucharski double helps the Glory pull it out of the fire against Auckland. The Glory girls go toe-to-toe with Sydney FC, and the NPLWA Night Series is heating up. Welcome to the Far Post Perth, presented, of course, by ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue at idathletic.com, and also our great mates down there at Trio Homes. If you're looking to build, redesign, or renovate, visit triohomes.com.au or pop into their office down there in Beaufort Street in Inglewood. Blayne Treadgold is my name. Well, the desk is looking a little bit bare. I have got James Renton alongside me, mate. We've been abandoned this week.
Yeah, I know. A bit disappointing. You know, I was again hoping that Mr. Sherwin was going to be here so that I could have given him a bit of grief about City.
Well, I actually heard him on radio in the week, and he had to front up to Matt Grublich on Sport FM about how rubbish Man City's been. Yeah, your boy's got a little bit fortunate. My boy's got an absolute pummeling to get Arsenal back to the top. So,
been a mixed bag.
I mean, if that's our role, then we'll take it. So,
well, you know, that's just kind of Leeds' position. I mean, at least you're not, you know, in that relegation. Well, not firmly in that relegation battle.
Well, we kind of spoke off air, and I just said, look, I was expecting it. We got an absolute pummeling from Arsenal in the first leg, and I was expecting that in the second leg. And there's that little bit of hope that you kind of cling on to. Or can you get a bit of a point?
Sorry, you guys are like only just above. Yeah, so sorry. Yep, 16th. Yep,
I know because all the other results are going against us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
down to the championship.
We won't talk about Leeds. Let's talk about the mighty Perth Glory, because what a result that was on the weekend. Let's get it started with our good, our bad, and our ugly, Mr. Renton.
Well,
since there's two of us, so jump in there.
Well, since I've said Glory have been bad for the last fortnight, I'll say they've been good for once, even though afterwards I was speaking with Stan and I was saying I would have loved to have seen us play a little bit more football, in inverted commas.
Yeah.
Only because it was like, look, the way that we exploited Auckland's high line with our long balls, we adjusted to the game quicker than Auckland, and we found our advantage and we went for the throat. And I felt that we were always the more likely team to score. I really didn't feel threatened at all with Auckland and how they were building up. And it's I guess a bit of progression for the team's defensive efforts under Adam Griffiths. That's something that, without any shadow of a doubt, he has improved, and there's been remarkable progression. It's just more so like with the attack, it's like, you know, obviously when the wingers came on, that's when the game changed. Kucharski and Collar gave a bit more thrust and a bit more threat in behind. It's just going to be interesting to see how we manage this week against MacArthur, where it could be a possibly different kind of game scenario. And so I would love for us to continue with that attacking mindset and see if we can create even more chances, because I would have loved to have seen Tags get on the score sheet, and he really only had that one clear-cut chance, being that header that he missed from the corner. And
he kind of had that little bit of that snapshot where he kind of turned down the family
you'd love to have a few more cleaner opportunities for our forwards each game, and I think if we can get our average of shots on target, which is around about 4 per game, to just over 5, by default, based on the numbers, then we've got a real shot of making the finals.
It was interesting because I was up in the comms box for Sport FM with Tommy Dolman, and I think Tommy put it in a good way. It was a very stodgy kind of a game. It didn't move very quickly, that game at all, and I think there's probably a few different factors for that. From an Auckland perspective, it was stinking hot. They wouldn't be used to that
time zone as well,
heat. And then the time zone turns into about a quarter to midnight kickoff their time. But I think Steve Corica's right in saying, look, we don't use those excuses. We need to be able to, if you want to be a good side, you need to be able to go anywhere in the league and walk away with some kind of a result. So I think I've got to tip my lid to Steve Corica about that. From a Glory perspective, it was the second game in a row where they've had to play in pretty oppressive kind of conditions. It wasn't conditions that was conducive to playing a really it wasn't a game that you could really kind of come out there and go full blast.
No,
probably wanted to.
It's probably more
really kind of just play Auckland off the park.
Yeah, and
get them running.
It's more so
like
the intent, and it's like Auckland are obviously a physical team. So it's like if you can find an advantage against one of the best sides in the competition and you can exploit it, then that's great. And I've no problem with how we approach that game in isolation. It's just more broadly speaking about longer term. The fact that we've been in this position before where we've had a really strong win or a good win, let's say, and then we've not been able to build on that. So again, I'll be very intrigued to see how we go against MacArthur. Hopefully we can build, and with the guys coming back into the team, we can see, a little bit more threat out wide, because Auckland were backing off really much in the second half.
Yep.
And it's been a rarity to see that at HBF Park this season. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but I don't. And as I this is where me and Tommy kind of had a difference in opinion. Was I didn't feel like, even at 2-1 up, that Glory had ultimate control of the game.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't the fact that Auckland threatened. It's the fact that I think under those conditions, I would have liked to have seen the Glory just be a little bit more proactive and move that ball around just a little bit slicker.
Yeah.
I think we lost a little bit of that cohesiveness. Trent Osler, unfortunately, didn't have the best of games, but down that right side, he's had some pretty good combinations with Shamoon.
Yeah.
On that other side, Pennington and Sutton.
Pennington coming inside has allowed Sutton to get a lot higher, and that was
Correct.
definitely impacting Auckland's high line in the first half, I felt. So yeah.
But I just didn't feel like we really hit those really kind of slick moments anywhere throughout the match. So, as I said, it was a good result, but I don't feel like we ultimately have control. And I think it was a little bit of a
smash and grab.
Yeah, almost. It wouldn't have surprised me if it was a game that could have ended 0-0. Like, it was just one of those.
Yeah, that's fair.
With all things considered, so to walk away with the points was outstanding. Jaden Kucharski was brilliant. I thought when he came on, I thought Kolakowski just offered just plenty of width, and also just really stretching the park, but also just the pace and everything else like that, and getting in behind and just running those channels.
It was awesome. Really enjoyed it.
Yep, not very good. My good was my tip on the weekend.
I did see your tweet, Blayne. Yeah,
I thought that it was absolutely going to be but I'll chuck this out. I'll see if this lands, and it did.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, anyone listening will know knows me. It's more arse than class as far as that goes. Someone goes, "Did you put any money on it?" And I said, "Not a chance." I did, because if I had they wouldn't have come in at all. That'd be the way that my luck works. So.
That's fair.
Also, my good from the weekend was the Sydney Derby. I thought 33,000 was a really good crowd. It was a double header.
They marketed it though very well, I felt, during the week.
Yeah, and as I said in the week, I believe that the Sydney Derby is the best rivalry of any Australian sport. It's East v West, it's Red v Blue, it's Paul v kind of Rich. It's
definitely up there.
Do you know what I mean? It's got all those kind of
everything you'd want
opposites
for a pure rivalry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it's up there. I think the fan generated atmosphere, you can't find that anywhere else in Australian sport.
No, you can't.
People from Victoria might say, "Oh, well, what about the Melbourne Derby?" Unfortunately, Melbourne City just doesn't offer.
They don't have any fans.
Well, they just don't offer what Sydney FC and Western Sydney do towards each other. So, there's a proper animosity there and a dislike, which is healthy as long as it's kept healthy and it doesn't spill over. Then it's really good.
Yeah.
Mate, what's been bad?
Western Sydney's performance. Because it was very promising. I think 49 seconds, Ryan Fraser scored a pretty good goal. He's hit the ground running in Australia. I was intrigued to see how he was going to go, and
was that? I'm just going to pick your brain on that.
Sure.
Was that more Ryan Fraser? Was that more just the lack of attention?
I think he was kind of going, wait, why are you not closing me down? Why are you backing off? And
I'm going to have a ping here, bang.
Yeah. But at that point, it then comes down to the quality of the player, and he did very well with his strike. But it was an even game, 50-50 possession. But Sydney, they've needed to come out and respond following a pretty poor Big Blue performance, and for them to perform as emphatically as they did at home in front of a big crowd in the Derby, that's massive for them. But in terms of Western Sydney, there's just all the more question marks, as in, did they get high off their own farts after beating Glory the previous week? They've got a lot of good players in that team, Western Sydney, but you just think, what's wrong? What's going on? Something's not right there, particularly, if for them to be, I think they're last, with Mariners having beaten Melbourne Victory. There's big question marks, and I think, there's got to be a review of how they're doing things at that football club.
Yep. My bad is the reports that Reece Bozanovski's off to Holland. It's certainly not bad for Reece Bozanovski, but the A-League transfer window shuts in a week. And if he goes, I think that's a massive hole in midfield. Amos isn't fit.
Yep.
Freeney and Diabru have been brilliant, but they're very, very green.
And Bozza, what he was doing, he just was doing a mountain of work in the different phases. But through adversity comes opportunity. So, it could be an opportunity for G to cement himself in the team, or Nick Pennington to get back into midfield, or maybe it's Cal Timmins who eventually, when he returns from his calf injury, maybe he can get a run in the team.
Yep.
But it's a spot up for grabs, because I think Freeney by default, he's got to be part of the midfield to start.
Yep.
And then it's the question of, well, who's next to Will?
Well, I should have mentioned this off the top. We're going to be chatting to Nico Pennington a little bit later on.
We can ask him.
Yeah, we will actually ask him, because I think it's a huge hole left in if he goes.
Yeah.
But the other side of it, and probably not one for Nico, but look, I think the Glory's got to be playing a bit of hardball with this. He's contracted until 2027.
Yeah.
Glory fans would have a very big right to be pissed off
if we don't get a good fee.
Well, or even a mutual termination or anything like that. I mean, this has to be a decent fee. It's a little bit fortuitous, because, I mean, it wasn't one that we kind of developed or anything else like that. But he certainly hit his straps and deserves the opportunity.
Good bit of business by Stan to bring him in and have that cap space available to bring those Western boys in. Yeah. So, but it's just, I think that Heracles, they've got, or the Eredivisie's transfer window, it shuts Wednesday morning, our time.
So what? I mean, we're at Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got 24 hours.
It depends I think they're waiting on his passport or something. It was the same story with Kikianis.
So has he got a Euro passport?
I'm not sure. He might do. But, yeah, I think Kikianis was in the same boat as Reece. So that's been the hold up, and it's just a matter of whether those deals get done at that time.
Isn't Aiden Hristich? Hristich?
Yeah.
Isn't he at Heracles?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So a little bit of a and there's been some fantastic players, Australian players go through the Eredivisie as well.
Well, you got Ernst Faber there as the head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the connection with Adelaide United, isn't it?
No, PSV. PSV is the connection with, I thought they had the connection with Adelaide, and then Ernst Faber left to then take up the coaching role at Heracles.
Is that right? I thought I read something about Heracles. I don't know. Maybe.
I thought there was something to do with Heracles as well, but I thought they had a deal with PSV at the very least.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So watch his space, I guess. But it's great for Reece. Don't get me wrong, but it's from a Glory perspective, that could create a huge hole with only a week left to go in the transfer.
And I doubt we'd be able to get something in quickly, to be honest.
Who is there?
That's a better question. Because that's the thing. I mean, we're fully capped with visas. Aussies, I'm not really sure if there's any ideal options. I mean, your man Christianel, he would have been someone good to sign.
He's at Central Coast now.
Yeah, he is.
And he played a good game against Victory on the weekend. So
try and bring him back next season.
So there you go. Keep us going with your ugly, mate.
Brisbane Roar. Ooh. They reek. Definitely a fair bit of, novelty and fanfare to them at the start of the season, but, the wheels have well and truly come off. I think there's one win in their last 6, I think. The rest have all been losses, and that win was obviously against Glory, but, they had that prior game against Adelaide where they threw it away and let that young lad get his hat-trick in the second half. And then against the Jets, I watched them play in this game and just, the defensive, let's defend for our lives kind of thing, and then the siege mentality. For me, my question was always, how long is this going to last? Because there's only so long you can kind of stay on that line, if you like, and not step over it and get into that environment where it just gets toxic.
Yep.
Because they capitulated. Newcastle played some really good football. Chris Long got sent off late on in the game, and Brisbane are in a fairly vulnerable position in terms of the ladder if teams underneath them start picking up points, because you've got Victory, Glory, Wellington in particular that have played a game less than Brisbane.
Yep.
And they've all got the opportunity to leapfrog them. So, ugly performance against Newcastle, and Valkanis in particular has some work to do on the attacking front.
Are we not giving Newcastle enough credit?
I think there's legitimacy to them, given that they came into the season off the back of winning the Oz Cup, but I think the stamina question of how long they can sustain this kind of football. And because it's been a great run, they deserve to be on the top of the table currently. But it's going to be the question for this young team of can they sustain this run to the end of the season. But if you're as a neutral, they're playing some fantastic football, and all the more reason to go and watch them play.
Yeah, one to watch. My ugly, James. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit old, but the jeering of Ollie Sale after a pretty severe injury to his knee. Look, I just don't. I don't get it at times. Like if a player has done wrong by your club, then fair enough. That's. I think there's a little bit of kind of banter that's involved in that kind of thing, and a bit of feeling. But I don't think that was the case with Ollie Sale. I feel like it was a move. He wasn't at his best at our club.
Yep.
He was moved on.
Yep.
There was no kind of animosity. I mean, it wasn't. It's not Kevin Muscat or Simon Colosimo when he kind of lied to the fans and said, "I'll never go to Sydney FC," and he signed a week later. Do you know? It was nothing. But
I think to be fair, it was depending where people's vantage points was, because I was on the other side of the stadium to where the incident happened, and genuinely I thought he slipped on his ass, and it was just funny because he kicked the ball out, and initially, like, I'm sure people in the stadium would have gone, "Oh, Sale, another HBF comedy moment." But then when it got to the point where it's like, and you saw the replay on the big screen, it's like, no, his knee is gone to
we
shit.
noticed that from the commentary box, and I went, oh, they're getting stuck into him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Cosgrove and all these kind of guys went up to the shed.
It adds to the theatre a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's just something that can happen in games where you got the crowd energised, and you got Auckland that are not that they're instigating it, but it's like they're adding to it in their own way.
But we get that because a player left, we've got to kind of give him as much stick. You could have like your best player, and if they go to another
football
club,
fans are tribal, to be fair.
They are tribal, but I mean, it's the nature of the A-League that you will not play for one A-League club.
No, it is a recycling bin. Yeah, so
everyone has come from somewhere else, and everyone in this current team is going somewhere else. Like,
pretty
that's
much,
just the way it is. So I just think we need to have a little bit more, be a little bit more clever and a little bit more mature at times, and a little bit of wit's fine. A little bit of banter.
Heat of the moment. I mean, but I think once it got to that,
old and soft.
No, but probably once the point when the stretcher came out, that's when it should have been. Oh, yeah. Okay, this isn't shits and gigs. This is a fairly serious injury where he's going to have surgery and probably miss out on the World Cup. Yeah, possibly. You hope not, but yeah. Another
ugly. I'm just going to mention those little pricks outside the on the Pier Street side of the ground who got stuck into that poor young fella out there. Boys, you're all as thick as bloody thieves. You're sitting there beating the crap out of someone and then filming it and chucking it all over social media. Look, you've all been identified. I guarantee that, because you're all as dumb as pig shit.
The club are aware, Venues West are aware, police are aware, so best leave it at that.
I know, but it's just stupid.
It's dumb. It shouldn't, like, why come to the game?
Well, it's just kind of a blue's a blue. Don't get me wrong, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But you don't sit there 20 on one and you're all filming it with your scaly dickhead mates.
That's a dog act.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, you're all filming it. You've just basically just incriminated all your mates.
Not the sharpest tools in the shed.
No, certainly not. And we can certainly leave that out. We can do without you at the football on game day. So don't bother coming in a couple of weeks' time. Any other final kind of comments before we wrap up? Good, bad, ugly?
No, I'm just on Glory again. Just it's you can never really fully trust them. 1 minute they could be great, the next minute, So this will be a really defining period for Griff and the boys coming up.
Well, we'll have a bit of a chat. We've got Nicho Pennington. He's going to join us next on the Far Post Perth podcast.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Julbich at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
Welcome back to the Far Post, Perth. We're joined by a man with, James, probably one of the most interesting passports in the A-League.
Easily.
Obviously, born in Rome, obviously spent a bit of time over there coming through the local ranks in Cagliari, but these days he is Perth Glory through and through. Nicho Pennington's with us. Nico, thanks for giving us a bit of time.
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. I was born in Rome. I grew up in Italy, but my dad was born in Perth. Yeah, so I do have an Aussie passport as well.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Obviously, with your dad being from Perth and growing up in Rome, how old were you when you first started to come out to Australia? Was it a regular thing, or was it just this far-flung place that your dad was from?
It was a far-flung place where my dad was from. To be honest, I actually played for the under-23s of Australia without ever setting foot in Australia. And we played in China first and then Spain. And so I went to 2 camps outside of Australia with the Australian national team without ever setting foot in Australia. So my first time in Australia was to play in the A-League for Wellington.
Is that right? Wow, yeah.
Yeah, because my dad's family is from England, so they all moved back to England, and so I didn't have any connections back here, really.
Yeah, so take us through the story about how your father ended up in Italy.
Well, my dad's a pilot. He's an aeroplane pilot.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Yeah, he just he worked for a few companies in his career, and he happened to be working for Alitalia when he met my mom in Italy, in Rome, and that's what he was doing in Italy. I guess that's the reason I'm here now.
So I reckon your frequent flyer points would be absolutely through the ceiling, wouldn't they?
Unfortunately, my dad can't get me any free tickets, which is because I'm in full time. I've got a full-time job. Well, my brothers were studying and they could get free business class tickets and everything. Mm. And I've never been able to benefit from anything. Unfortunately, not many frequent flyer points apart from those we get every second week going to Sydney or Melbourne for games. So yeah, I still get quite a few from that.
Good stuff. Mate, you came through the Cagliari system, and of course you came out to, despite having the Australian passport, you actually went out to Wellington. So, what was your first impressions when you started to play in the A-League, especially considering the comparison with what you'd been through over in Italy?
Yes, I grew up with Cagliari, which obviously is a top team in Serie A most years. And the last couple of years I was in and out of the first team training and going on the bench sometimes. And then they loaned me out to Serie C, which is the third league in Italy, where I got a lot of game time. I think I've got around 120 games in Serie C in the 4 years I played there. Then I just wanted a change, to be honest. It was... I obviously would have liked to progress in the upper leagues in Italy, but I didn't have the opportunity there. So instead of staying in Serie C, try and find something else. So while I was looking, Ufi from Phoenix reached out to me and put a contract on the table. I was looking at some offers, and I just decided why not. It'd be a very, very good opportunity for me to experience something different. And I just made a very impulsive decision to just leave everything back home and go and try out the A-League.
So, Nico, how would you compare the football environment in Italy, be it the training or be it their culture, to when you first came into the A-League itself? Was it a bit of a shock to see how different the two countries, if you like, approach the game?
Yeah, it was. It is very different, to be honest. I think. Well, in Italy, you have, I think, a lot of pressure from the fans and even the team. The team that they put a lot of pressure on you to perform. While here it's mostly the pressure you put on yourself. I know the fans are really good here in the sense that they support you and they try and they want you to win, but they don't. They're not. It's a bad word, but nasty, like they can be in Italy, coming to training and screaming at you and telling you if you don't win, we don't want to see you anywhere around town. It can be quite hard in Italy. I kind of got used to it, so yeah, it was quite pleasant to come to Australia and not have to experience that. But at the same time, I think here the physical side of football, both like trainings and the physical side, playing in the heat, I found it much harder than it was in Italy. So that was hard for me to adapt. Like there was an easier sense in less pressure, but physically I found playing in Australia much harder than it was in Serie C. So it actually took me a while to adapt. I thought I'd get in the league and it would be easy, but it wasn't easy at all, mostly because of the physical side, and it took me a while to adapt to the style of play here and just playing with strong players and fast, strong players in the heat. It's very different from Serie C, especially.
Would you say that would be probably one of the biggest differences tactically between Serie C, how the Italians approach football over there versus to here in the A-League, where it is quite transitional, and as you mentioned, there's a great sense of physicality within the players and within the style itself?
Yeah, I would say so. I think here the football is more physical and technical. I think you get a lot of very good technical players, and it's more transitional. While in Italy, especially in Serie C, it's more cagey, more tactical, more attack the defense, and then the other team goes attack the defense, and then it's kind of like very, very tactical, very like robotic, nearly. And I actually prefer playing football over here. You've got a bit more freedom, and I think that's the biggest difference.
Obviously, Nico, you came through at Wellington. It's a club, obviously, that at the time when you were there was just the freestanding club in New Zealand. But you've had players that have come that you've previously dealt with over at the Phoenix, including the coach now, Adam Griffiths. But what was one thing that you thought that you brought with you, either to the change room, a characteristic or a mentality that maybe you picked up at your time at Wellington?
Yeah, I think especially last year, we were lacking a bit of that work ethic that you need to actually do well, and I would like to think that I brought in that work ethic, even though I'm not very outspoken. I don't speak much. I just try and work as hard as possible and be the first one in, get in the gym and try and work as hard. And I think that's something that was part of the culture of Wellington that year that we did very well. The last year was there, and it made it. That culture of working hard was the main reason why we nearly won the league. We were 2 points off winning the league, and so I tried to bring it to Perth. Unfortunately, last year things didn't work out, but I think now it's starting to change. Griff's puts a lot of emphasis on working really hard in training and pushing ourselves in training. So I think that's the main thing that I would like to say that I brought to Perth, is that just work ethic in training and trying to push ourselves as much as possible.
There were certainly some moments last season in what was a very disappointing season for the club. I think everyone's willing to admit that, where I think you were the highlight, even if it's just going in with your second efforts and everything else like that. But when things are going against you so much, how difficult is it to keep up that work ethic and keep things positive and everything else?
Very difficult, very, very difficult. And I think, unfortunately for some players, last year, even though they came with the best intentions, after a while that things just didn't work out. I think they just just let it go. They just didn't work hard enough, and then it all started to go down. It was just it is, as you said, it did condition a lot of players. For myself, I just thought about next game and the next game and the next game and try and got, in the end I got through the season and I managed to get through by being very present and just trying to work hard. In the end, I think even if the team is doing bad, I just said to myself, I'll do my best, the best I can, and hopefully in the future I'll be rewarded for it. That was my mentality last year, and this year, with a good team, I'm still working the same, but at the same time, I've got people around me that can help me to get results. So it's that work I put in last year is actually it's gonna reward me now towards the end of this season, because I actually think we'll do very well now from now till the end of this season.
So this season, Nico, obviously since Griff took over, he's typically played you off the left as kind of this inside 10, inside attacking midfielder kind of role. We've obviously known you from last season as a hard-working centre midfielder playing in a 2. How have you found that transition from playing in a different area of the pitch, considering you had a lot of success last season as a box-to-box midfielder?
It's been like I thought at the start when Chris was putting me out there was more like just to see how it went, and then I guess I just found myself doing well in training and actually bringing something to the team. Then we had a few injuries, so it happened that Chris played me out there, and I think the games went quite well. I scored a couple of goals, and I think it was more of a thing that happened throughout the season rather than something that was planned, with injuries and with my performances. And also I think it's something tactical that could be useful, having, creating overloads. Because I'm not obviously I'm not a winger. I'm not someone that will go 1v1 or make lots of runs in behind, but it can be a good tactical thing to create overloads and come and play in the middle. So, and I think Griff's like that. I think sometimes it works better than other times. Sometimes it will work better probably to have an out-and-out winger, and we do have those options. So I think it's gonna be like it's gonna go game by game, and whatever Griff think he needs. I think he needs me in the as a 6, then I can play there. But for now, he thinks I'm more useful up there. So I enjoy playing up them closer to the goal. I can have more chances to score. So it's that's the fun part of football. So I'm happy.
So where do you prefer to play, Nico? If you could have the choice of either playing as that 6 or off the wing, where would you ideally like to be playing? Where do you think you could play your best football?
In between, as an 8.
Fair enough.
So in between the 6 and the 10.
So just
I don't play that formation, so it's okay. I'll play either of the other.
Fair enough. So just talk to us a little bit about Adam Griffiths, because he's certainly made an impression with the fan base in a way that not many coaches before him have done. You've obviously known him from your time at Wellington, but can you just give us a bit of an insight into him? What is it about him that it's not just obviously all down to him, but it's been no coincidence that since he's taken over, there's been a big uptick in form and confidence within the group.
Yeah, I think that the main thing for him in the end is that he works us really hard. He is a cool guy, so makes jogs and actually it makes you feel comfortable in training, but he works us really hard, and that's been a big change in the training sessions. And when you work really hard in training, then in the games you can run all the game, and you know it just makes it easier to play. And then obviously tactically made some changes. He's tactically knows what he's doing, so that's obviously a great attribute. But it's been good. You know, overall, everything is implemented. I think it's been good, just playing more with the ball and working hard to get on the ball when we do have it, try not to lose it. That's what he says a lot. I think it's worked, but it could still work better, because even though we played very well, we haven't gotten the results that we could have gotten with the games we played. So there's still a lot we can work on, and he can help us improve on.
Nico, massive result on the weekend against Auckland. It seems to be a side that Perth, matches up against pretty well, and obviously the win last year over Auckland, and then again this year. But how solidifying was that win? And do you feel that is a moment that you can kind of jump on and really kind of go on a run? Because with the league the way it is, it really feels like it's it's there for the taking almost.
Yeah, I think in the group we feel like we can go for a run, especially because now we've got so many good players in the squad that, you know, whoever comes on is up for it. And we even though we've had 35 players this year, we've never had 18 player squad that was a fully A-League proved the players until I think this week. And so I think we definitely can go on a run now, because you need people coming off the bench making an impact. You need the people who start to do well, and I think that's what we needed, and the confidence from the Auckland game will help a lot. And we beat the Macarthur already away from home, so we are very confident we can do it again.
Obviously, it was a little bit quieter of a game for guys like Adam Taggart and Tom Lawrence on the weekend, but you had Soldiers step up. Next in line, Steph Kolikovsky, I thought he was outstanding, just offered a lot of width and a lot of pace down that flank. But just a couple of words on those couple of finishes by Jaden Kucharski on the weekend, Nico.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to previously. The fact that you have JK and Kola coming off the bench just shows how dangerous we can be. You know, they can, if you got them coming off the bench and changing the game like they did, it just means that we whatever game we're in, if we're up, if we're down, we've got players that can come on and do really well. If they start, they'll do really well, and then you've got other players that can come on and change the game if need be. That's in football. I think it's really important. I think it's a bit underestimated how much subs can come on and make a difference.
So within the group itself, Nico, heading into this week's game against Macarthur, what do you think are the big focuses for you guys in terms of looking to get a result away from home and look to bring that ideal confidence for the rest of the season?
I think for me the main thing we need to improve on is still keeping the ball a bit better and reducing our mistakes when we build up from the back, especially, and try and bring the ball forward without making mistakes. And I think once we will stop making those mistakes in the midfield and at the back bit building up, I think we will keep a lot of the ball and control the games. And I think that's going to be the main thing for us against Macarthur and also the rest of the season. We just need to control the ball as much as we can, so we can score goals and defend.
Just one final question from me, Nico. Obviously, Adam Griffiths has done a great job at not only galvanising the playing group, but really kind of got that relationship between the football club and the fans back on track. I mean, I thought the fans over the last few weeks have been absolutely outstanding, particularly the shed end. How important are they to you guys at the moment?
It's what we play for, really. Like when we go out and you have fans cheering you on, like, it just gives you a boost of adrenaline. Like, it's the best feeling ever. So it helps a lot, and we can feel that the fans have I mean, they've always been behind us, even at the lowest points of last year, which is incredible for me, especially having playing it in Italy, where, like, if you're bottom of the league, then it's a completely different thing. So they've always been behind us, which shows how incredible the fans are here. But yeah, now that we're giving them something to smile about, then it makes us happy. Makes it worthwhile doing what we do and working as hard as we do in training. So yeah, hopefully we can give them more joy, because then we'll be happier.
Yeah, well. Absolutely, mate. And I'm sure everyone is wishing that as well. Nico, thanks very much, mate, for giving us a few minutes this evening. And I'm sure you've got dad duties or something else to go back to. So we certainly do appreciate that, mate. Yeah. And wishing you all the best for not only the game against Macarthur, mate, but obviously the season moving forward.
Thanks, guys. Good talking to you.
Thanks very much, Nico. Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So there we go, James. Nicho Pennington. Fantastic. Have a bit of a chat with him. Interesting story, as I said. It's
completely agree with him, by the way, about we need to keep the ball more.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a huge secret. Is it? It's not the.
I know. I was bloody miserable though about. Well, not miserable, but like after the game against Auckland, maybe it's just because I'm an eternal pessimist. But I was like, damn it, we could have keep the ball more, and maybe we could have. Put Auckland to the sword, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how the team evolves with the point that I made last week about Griff wanting to be a proactive coach. The coaches that he mentioned, it's a forward-thinking vertical possession play. We can start to see more of that.
Say that again. It's a forward-thinking vertical what
possession brand of football.
Right, just blurted out like you.
It was like
you were in the mirror practicing.
It was like a tongue twister. Yeah, vertical. Yeah. Rather than hoofball, there's so less syllables.
Hey, hoofball worked on the weekend.
I know.
Bit of a dink over the top.
I almost copped a bit of stick in the members' lounge afterwards. There was some certain members of the Glory FRG that were wanting Cam Cook, who was getting interviewed, to sledge me in front of the whole room for what I predicted.
There you go. So we're going to take a break. You're on the Far Post Perth podcast. Back after this to wrap things up.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Juljbic at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
Big thanks to Nicho Pennington as we get tucked into this last section of the Far Post Perth podcast for this Tuesday. Renton, give us a little bit of an update about what's happening with the A-League women and the Glory women at the moment.
Yeah, so 0-0 against Sydney FC during the week. It was all out attack just with no goals. Yeah, so right. I know that's kind of a bit stupid in itself, but both goalkeepers were outstanding. No surprise. Morrissey's been she's been class, and I think every single game that she's played this season for the Glory. So
that's concerning, though, isn't it? When the goalkeepers and the defenders are your best players, that's always concerning.
Yeah, and I think our attack hasn't really been firing on all the cylinders consistently this season, similar to the men. XG had Sydney FC creating the better of the chances than the Glory. So, look, a bit of a disappointing outcome to not capitalise or to try and bounce back from that loss that we had earlier against Melbourne City. But we've got a great opportunity coming up away to Wellington. So hopefully we can, replicate what we did at Sam Kerr last year in December. We beat them 1-0. So
big game, isn't it? I mean, if other results go in their favour, then they can really push on into that, deep into the six.
Need to do it. Yeah. So hopefully they can.
Yeah, no, good stuff there. A little bit around the grounds locally. NPLWA Night Series is underway. I'll do my best to give everyone a little bit of a snapshot of what is happening here in Group A across the weekend. Fremantle City beat Armidale 5-2. Bayswater beat Perth Red Star 1-0 going into round 3. I'll just bring you up the ladder very, very quickly. Fremantle City, they sit on 4 points. Bayswater City on 4 points. Perth Red Star on 3 points. And Armidale on zip at the moment. So it is the top team that goes through plus the next best, plus the best runner-up.
There you go.
To form that. So this week in Group A, Armidale will take on Bayswater and Perth Red Star against Fremantle City. So, look, I guess on the you'd probably say Bayswater go through. Interesting. Armidale v Bayswater Red Star against Fremantle City. That is Group A. I'll just bring you up Group B. As I said, it is a little bit clunky through the Squatty app. In Group B, across the weekend, Western Knights went down 2-1 to Perth Glory. Azuri drew 0-0 with Dianella White Eagles. And the ladder ahead of round 3 is Perth Glory on 6 points, Azuri on 4 points, Dianella on 1, and Western Knights on 0 at the moment. It will be Perth Glory and Azuri this weekend. If there's
Blockbuster.
If there's a winner out of that, then they will go through. So a quick look at Group C, which is across the weekend. Olympic Kingsway beat Sorrento 4-1, big win there, and Sorrento beat Balcatta this weekend. Sorrento v Stirling and Balcatta v Olympic Kingsway. The ladder going into that match is Olympic Kingsway with a perfect record, 6 points from a possible 6. Stirling on 3, Balcatta Etna on 3, and Sorrento on 0. So there's a little bit of a little bit to play for in that group there. But very much looking forward to that. And as I said, the top of each group, so the 3 tops from each group, and then the next best runner-up will go through to a semi-final and a final system.
There we go.
Looking forward to that. If you can get down to the NPL Night Series, the State League Night Series was, I think that was supposed to kick off, and then half of it was, I think,
we forfeited, I think through a technical issue. I think North Beach had to forfeit there.
Who were you against? Balga? Yeah, okay. I thought I saw that come up. But I think some of the games were postponed due to heat, which was really strange because NPL went ahead and then State League didn't go ahead. And
make it make sense, Football West.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what's happening there. I'm sure there was a reason for it, though. Let's look ahead to the weekend. On the A-League, we'll get some very, very quick tips. Friday night, Wellington v Melbourne Victory.
Draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw. MacArthur v Perth.
Oh, I think we can do it. I think we can.
Did it? I mean, that was the game that literally turned this season around this year. Was the MacArthur away game?
I would have thought Jets beforehand.
Oh well, Jets beforehand, but I think
MacArthur was a bit more legitimate. No, this will be a great opportunity. I can't get a read on MacArthur.
No, they're difficult.
Yeah,
they're a bit yo-yo.
I don't know if Luke Braddon is going to be back.
Not sure.
But if we've got some,
I don't think I've watched a MacArthur game this year.
Well,
except for against
none of their
Glory.
fans do. They can't seem to get any crowds at their games. But, we've got, I think they've got an ageing back line. If our quick players like Collar, JK and Lockie Wales, and if Despo's involved, we've got enough attacking weapons. No excuses. We're more than good enough to get a result there.
Really interesting scenario with Auckland and Sydney at the moment. They will play on Saturday, and then they will also play again on Tuesday back in Sydney. So...
What the hell are these fixtures, man?
No, because it's that makeup game. It's that one that they couldn't play earlier in the season. So they will play back to back, which is really, really interesting. So for this one, Auckland v Sydney.
Auckland need to bounce back.
Yeah,
like I said in the recap of the Glory game, their attack on the ball just weren't good enough, and defensively, there's some concerns for Steve Coroca's side.
Yep.
So I think they'll respond.
I think Auckland just need to win because of what Newcastle's doing. I think it's almost like that at the moment. So interesting times. Brisbane v Central Coast.
Can the Coasties make it 2 in a row?
I don't know.
Again, they're kind of hard to get a read as well. I mean, it was a very defensive effort against Melbourne Victory, and they had that long delay due to the thunderstorms and lightning. But
very, very frightening. Yep. Sorry, I had to do that.
Okay.
Needs to be done.
Probably a draw.
I've got kids, mate. This is the kind of thing that I do to
black and white TVs
to try and entertain them. Well, her.
Yeah. Draw for me.
I've only got one, I think. I think Brisbane. I think Brisbane gets this. Western Sydney, Melbourne City. I can't get a read on
neither. I mean,
either of them.
Probably. City needs to get their act together. I don't know what the hell's going on with them, but and then with Western Sydney, look, they need to bounce back as well. I mean, they embarrassed their fans in the Sydney derby, so be interesting to see if Gary Van Egmond gets a response out of them.
Really good game on Sunday. I'm looking forward to this one. Adelaide v Newcastle.
Adelaide.
I think Adelaide
because of the home support. Yeah. And ideally,
Newcastle's getting a bit big for their boots.
And ideally, they dent Newcastle and snap a few of their players, and that by the time they play Glory the following week, they're rattled.
I think it's going to be
ideally.
I'm looking forward to that one on the Sunday. Renton, before we wrap things up, your burning question for the week. Do we have one?
When will the Glory's attack finally click?
When?
Yeah. Will it be this week?
Will it be this week? Yeah, I don't know. I've got as I said, I keep saying Nicho Pennington needs to move centrally. You've got that option now.
Yeah, Griff, yeah.
You've got that option now. So
come on, line man.
And then if Bozanovsky goes, then it's a certainty. He has to move back into the mid.
Yeah, and then maybe Kohler comes in.
Yep.
That'd work.
My burning question for the week is this week the week where the league blows wide open. Sydney v Auckland, meaning either or both are a chance to drop points. If Newcastle can beat Adelaide, they can create a 4-point gap at the top. Central Coast and Wanderers in danger of losing touch, and Perth and Victory simply can't afford to lose.
I think
this be the week?
It's got to explode. And
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. James, thank you very much, mate, for this evening. Very much appreciated.
Thank you
to Nico Pennington, and as always, big thank you to ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue, idathletic.com, and of course our great friends down at Trio Homes. If you're looking to build, redesign, or renovate, triohomes.com.au. Don't forget to tell everyone about the Far Post Perth podcast, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube Music, and we'll see you next Tuesday. You've been on the Far Post Perth podcast.